Everyone, this is Trend Follower this side, and today I'm here to talk about Swiss currencies in Forex market. There are a few reasons I'm bringing up Swiss currencies in general, and I wanted to share that with you guys. So the number one reason is what makes Swiss currencies interesting starting this week or by the end of this week is we have a CHF news on Friday, which is GDP news. CHF news doesn't happen every week, so it's interesting. Now, the other reason is COT data. So, as you can see on my screen, what we have is 6S1, which is Swiss futures on TradingView, and below is the COT data. What is interesting of COT data in terms of COT index is the retail, which is this line here, is touching this level, right? Which is like 0% on index. Remember, when it was near this level before, that's when the bottom happened. Like here. So basically, it's not the complete signal. I will tell you when the complete signal would be there. But like when retail is over bearish, we want to go against them. So right now, it's coming in this level. So that's why I'm bringing this currency. The second thing is, if you see the blue line, which is this one, is commercial. And they are slowly building a position for long, so that makes it interesting again, right? So that's why COT index is coming in favor of us, so that's good. Uh, so when we have COT index in our favor, where retail is going extremely bearish, that's when things go interesting, right? Last time, when retail was, let's say, here, right? We're almost reaching that level, right? When retail was here, that's when we bottomed again, and we are below that. So it's time to see the technical setups for Swiss currencies, especially now that the fundamental is aligning. So why are the technicals aligning? Why do I say that, right? So I believe a lot in um, supply and demand. So let me remove all this, right? And if we first go to monthly, right? In monthly, you are at this area of demand, right? I mean, ideally, it would have been great if you could come here, right? But maybe it will never come there. I shouldn't say never, but maybe it doesn't come here uh, right now. But let's mark out some levels together. So this is the monthly level. And if we go to weekly, what is interesting to me is if you look at this wave, right? It started from these two levels. So let's just mark this and name it weekly. And do I like something else? Not really. Not really. I don't want to force it. If something is damn clean, that's where my interest would be. So yeah, on daily, you see this. So let me mark it as daily. And another one which is interesting again is this one. So as you can see, there's like good overlapping regions here, and that's why there was this bounce. That doesn't mean it cannot come back here. But what it means is till this level is held, we are safe, right? So now from here, what we have to think about is, okay, Swiss can act strong. It can pull back and act strong. It can act a little weak and then act strong. So what are some of the good setups that can work on its favor, right? Uh, so first and foremost, let's talk about odd CHF. So I already had these levels and it just dropped today, but that doesn't mean that we have missed anything, right? We don't have to chase it. So what is interesting of odd CHF, let's remove this one and you'll see what's happening here, is, let me remove all this. Yeah. So is this. So if you see, this is where it's rejecting from mainly, right? So let me change this to supply and W. Let me remove these. We don't care about these anymore. So this is the weekly supply where it's getting rejected from, right? Now, odd is a risky asset, right? Like risk on asset. And if it's working directly opposite to CHF, that's awesome. What you can also see is a trend line here, right? So if it rejects, it can be a good rejection. And I always say if you never know what happens. So you can see what is happening here. So this daily supply is covered from weekly supply. So this is a powerful rejection. So if you find any setup here where let's say it bounces like this and comes back, that can comes down, that can be a good setup. So you will have to find using your own technical analysis setups here. What I can see is what I would personally be waiting for is if it comes back here or if it comes here. That's where I would start looking at any lower time frame setups, right? So this is odd CHF. The next is CAD CHF. Why this got interesting today is CAD was acting very strong from last few weeks. Uh, and now when CAD is getting rejected, that means, okay, other weaker currencies against CHF can act really weak, right? So we'll not short CAD CHF because it has been acting strong. We'll look for weakness. Now, the next pair, which is very interesting to me, is CHFJPY. Keep in mind, JPY has also been acting strong, so we'll have to be a little careful. But why is this interesting? Let me show you. So, if you remove everything here, right, you can see how this formed a potential demand. The reason I say potential is because it's just one candle that bounced hard, right? But it did form a potential demand. Now, what is interesting to me here is firstly it's bouncing from here, but the risk to reward isn't that great, right? So we need to find something where it has higher risk to reward. So if you look at this preferred area, where is my monthly level? Yeah, preferred area for weekly demand. Let's go to weekly. There isn't much here unless you can see this one, right? Like a preferred section because it's a big candle, big move. So I have to be careful with respect to risk to reward. So let's go to daily instead. And something interesting happens in daily here. So you can see equal lows here, which may act like liquidity, right? But just below this equal low, one of the move that started was here. So daily, which is a good area because think it like that. It came here, came down, came here, bounce from this uh, supply turned to demand and went here, right? So now this area has shown that it can act like a demand area. When you merge this with this demand area where this move started, this can go up. Now, keep in mind, I'm not just taking this demand area. What is interesting is this whole area is also demand a supply which turned to demand here and can turn to demand here. What is interesting is this is within the monthly demand, and what we have here is a daily within monthly within supply turn to demand. So there's like a lot of confluences here. So what you can see is this can be a good region for it to bounce like this. Uh, yeah, and the other point is you can clearly see CHFJPY has trend to upside, so we're not even going against the trend. So I think this can be a good region where you can find your technical setups for reversals to upside. Next, Euro CHF. The reason I wanted to talk about Euro CHF in general is because Euro has been acting weak, right? And if CHF starts acting strong, Euro can be a good bet to for a reversal to downside. The second reason I wanted you to guys to look into it, let me remove this, is this is the weekly supply here, right? This is the weekly supply. Now, within this weekly supply, this would be the preferred weekly supply, right? So now let's look at daily. Within daily, this is a good one, right? Where it immediately rejected. There is a little bit risk here because you may have to put the stop loss above this. But I think with this huge wick, when it goes up, it can come back, right, to somewhere here, which can give you nice 2-3 RR depending on your stop loss and everything. So yeah, this is interesting to me because now you have a daily covered by a weekly, and look at the weekly trend, right? Let's zoom out. It's down, right? So what is risky here is the liquidity has been grabbed here, so maybe we bounce here, bounce a little, and then go down. What I think is this weekly, as long as this weekly supply holds, you're good to go for downside. So something to look into. The next thing is GBPCHF. I really love this one, and I will tell you why. So one thing is what's happening, right? Let's zoom out. We had this huge rejection. Let's do this, right? And now what can happen? This, if we go up, fine. If we go down, fine. But most probably this part is gonna happen, right? And that's what we want to capture here. Oh, so with that in mind, let's look at monthly here. So what is good about monthly is you can see the previous, it's still being built. Let's keep that in mind. But you can see that there was a bearish engulfing, and what we did was we manipulated here, and now we are going down. So what can happen is little bounce up and then go down. Will it go there? I don't know. But if it goes there, I'm definitely shorting it, right? What is really good about this one is you have a clear down move, right? So what my preferred area in this is this weekly candle, right? So let me just mark it as weekly. Let's go to daily. So now things get really interesting here, and I will tell you why, right? So within daily, you have two areas. One this, let me remove this one. So one this, uh, let me bring back this, right? So one this and one is this, right? And let's draw the preferred line for both of them. One would be this, one would be this, right? What I think is why this gets interesting is because if it's really weak, this weekly level should really show resistance. So I think what can happen is it can come here, and then there would be either a down move or a pullback, and this is what you want to capture. So this is what I would be focusing on GBPCHF. And when it comes down up there, I would again look at the setups depending on technical setups and everything. So this is really interesting to me. So if GBPCHF comes here, right, I would be ready. Let's go to NSD CHF. I couldn't find anything very clean here. You can argue, you can always build setups. I wouldn't say no. But if you force me, there is one which I really like is this weekly area zone, right? So if it comes here, things can really get interesting. So everywhere you see there is a good chance of a bounce, right? Uh, a little bit bounce. So you don't have to FOMO into it. You may get the opportunity to get in, but if you don't, you don't, right? But these are quality zones that I see. One thing I would mention on CHF pairs in general is retail is bearish, but commercials are not fully bullish. So ideally, if it pulls back, that's when the retail would be like, oh, it would be over bearish, and that would be the perfect trigger point. So yeah, these are the reasons I am very, very interested in CHF pairs, and my favorite zones right now has been GBPCHF and let's see, CHFJPY. That's mostly it. Let me see if it was Euro CHF. Yeah, Euro CHF. I don't mind it, but then I feel like it's less quality because of all this confluencer. Sorry, all this, I should say, um, what do you say, consolidation here. So it may go a little up and then go down, and maybe I get stopped out and everything. So it's not that clean, and you may have to wait for the price action here. But something very clean is GBPCHF if it comes here, and CHFJPY if it comes here, right? Make sure that CHF starts acting strong. This is, keep in mind, this is just 1 day bounce. Next day it can still come down and everything. But this bounce is legit because this region is very important. Your fundamentals and technicals both are aligning. So it can work totally in your favor. That's it for CHF pairs. That's it for my analysis. But I would just say, if you liked what I liked the details I gave, if you understood or even didn't understand, feel free to comment. But this is what my plan is. I would give these analysis beforehand, not after. Uh, in this series of videos, I'm planning to make another series of videos which would be just learning from the previous week. I really believe like you have to do back testing and forward testing both. So back testing is what I will do a second series where every weekend I will just go through some of the great setups that happened in previous weeks and how we could have seen it, how I saw it and entered or didn't enter. That doesn't matter. We will learn together on that. And forward testing is this, where I mark these zones and make plans around those. So yeah, that's it for today. Thanks, guys. Hope you liked it. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe.